I was genuinely excited to watch it in theaters, but Bholaa broke my heart. Here's why. This video is sponsored by the Nokio app. More about it later in the video. Now, there is no denying that Ajay Devgan has a good filmmaking acumen. His second directorial venture, Shivai, was released in 2016, and he did prove his mettle by displaying his storytelling finesse coupled with some amazing action choreography that reflected his father's glorious legacy. Sure, you can say that the film did not have a perfect story, but it did definitely provide a good theatrical experience. And most importantly, you could clearly sense the intent of Ajay Devgan to bring something new to the table, despite faltering at a few places in terms of narrative execution. Personally, I was very impressed with how Ajay Devgan had curated the world of Shivai. In addition to the eye-opening action choreography, there were a few moments that clearly conveyed his knack for visual storytelling. I was happy that someone so prominent has taken the matter into his own hands and was trying to do something new in Hindi cinema. And the feeling is mutual in the case of Bholaa as well, which is something that I did not expect, because when I got to know that Bholaa is going to be a remake of Kaithi, which was originally written and directed by Lokesh Kanagraj, I was not very happy with this decision. But the moment I saw the teaser, I was excited. I was genuinely excited. And earlier I thought that it was just going to be another Hindi remake of a South Indian film, which is unfortunately happening a lot these days. But there are two ways of approaching a remake. You can either do it shot by shot, frame by frame, without making any changes to the events of the story, or you can focus on the central theme or plot of the story but give it a completely fresh visual perspective. The characters and their goals remain the same, the obstacles that they face remain the same, but the way you look at the story unfold will change significantly from the original film, and Ajay Devgan clearly opted for the second approach. He took the story of Kaithi but reimagined the world of Kaithi with his own lens of filmmaking, and the choices that he makes in Bholaa clearly exemplify his attempt, his aim for a new visual experience. The camera angles, the color grading, the placement of incidents, trying to adapt a dialect that reflects a North Indian aesthetic for the Hindi-speaking audience, and including a couple of elements that will prove entertaining for the single-screen audience, he has done everything to transform the treatment of a story and make it an Ajay Devgan production. He knows that a comparison with the original is inevitable. That's why he has attempted to create a world that looks totally different from Kaithi. But despite all these creative attempts, Bholaa feels chaotic. The film doesn't make you feel for the characters. You are not as emotionally invested in the story as you should be. The story is less about the officer who wants to perform her duty and more about a father who needs to reunite with his daughter after serving 10 years in imprisonment. And while his daughter eagerly waits for him at an orphanage, he has to drive through a bunch of roadblocks while also ensuring the safety of the officers. Despite focusing solely on the father's struggle to reunite with his daughter, we cannot emotionally connect with him. We don't feel that empathy, that longing for self-vindication experienced by Bholaa. And I think that's because all these incidents that should ignite the required emotion have not been presented in a perfectly sequential manner. It is the editing of Bholaa that makes it chaotic. When you think of editing a film, what you are actually doing is defining the pacing of the plot. You decide the progression of a narrative, the logical movement of events, and the structure of your film, whether it will be linear or non-linear. It is the way you edit a film that the audience will understand your story. The editing of your film will decide whether the audience will pay attention to what's happening with the characters on the big screen. The way you cut your film will make your audience anticipate what's going to happen next. The interest of the audience depends a lot on how you edit your film. But most importantly, the editing of your film will build the emotional core of your story, and this is where Bholaa falters the most. Apart from the dialogues being inaudible at times due to the overpowering background score, what disappointed me most was the editing of the action sequences that actually have a huge role to play in the story. Every action sequence acts as an external obstacle for the character of Bholaa that's stopping him from reaching his daughter on time. They are meant for more than just delivering entertainment, but they don't leave an impact because they feel disjointed. Like if you take the example of the scene where a group of bikers start chasing that truck, it has some amazing moments of action, but still it feels scattered. The placement of the shots doesn't let you register the entire gravity of the situation. There seems to be a few gaps between the shots which are not able to portray the desired amazement and intensity of the action choreography in this scene. It just ends up being a scattered mess that feels rushed, to say the least. And I'm sure if you do compare the same scene with Kaithi, you will find that more thrilling and engaging. As I mentioned earlier, Ajay Devgan has surely put in a lot of effort into this film and the intent is clearly visible, but unfortunately, it is the editing of Bholaa that actually makes it a chaotic remake instead of a reimagined creative spectacle. And I hope that the future of this new universe will not falter in this aspect and emotionally connect with the audience in a better way. But do you know what else can be chaotic? Managing a long watch list of movies, TV shows, documentaries, short films, and whatnot. That is why the Nokio app is here to bring order to chaos by letting you add your entire watch list in the app and solving your problem of wondering what to watch. Now, yes, there is Letterboxd and I am also using Letterboxd, but the reason why Nokio is better than Letterboxd is because it actually allows you to share your recommendations not just with your friends in the form of personal chat, but also with creators like me and with a lot more of your other favorite creators. There is Ronak Mangotil, there is Bhardwaj Rangan. He has recently joined the Nokio app, which is amazing. Nona is there. Then you have Tried and Refused Productions, Chalchitra Talks, Humans of Cinema, and many more such creators are there on Nokio along with me. And you can use the link in the description to follow Long Live Cinema on the Nokio app and share your recommendations, not just with me, with your friends and with your other favorite creators as well. Thank you so much to Nokio once again for sponsoring this video. Thanks to you for watching this video, and I will be back soon with another one. As always, long live cinema. Take care of yourself.